My reason for choosing this play right now is that this play really addresses issues of the everyman person, the person who doesn't have things, and seeing the riots that have been happening across the country in Baltimore and Ferguson, and people just responding to what they see as inequities. This play really addresses that, but in a really human and funny way. It's not necessarily taking a specific point of view. It's something that I think everyone can really appreciate, and we can laugh through the pain. And that's the beauty of this play.
Dario Fo was a Pulitzer Prize winner in 1997, and he's an Italian playwright. But the things that we're working on in rehearsal are reminiscent of watching I Love Lucy and The Honeymooners. The Giovanni and Antonia are this couple who are just railing at each other, but they love each other so much that's just part of their everyday life. And it's set against, and it's hysterically funny in that same Lucy, joyous kind of funny way where the wives are lying to the husbands and everything is a cover-up. And the husband is like the honeymooners, Ralph Cramden, and right to the moon, Alice, and she just stands there and says, yeah, no way, baby. And they just keep going on with it, and it's hilarious stuff.
Ron, when you first talked to me about this, what you said to me is that it needs to feel really everyman, it needs to feel really average. And I went and found a bunch of images, like there's this guy getting his dinner out of the refrigerator, and there's some women in a supermarket, and people cooking in a kitchen. And so trying to use those images and create a really simple space. Most of the action happens in this kitchen sort of living room area that they're in. And so we decided to make the whole space be that, and then the streets are out in the house.
We're going to have entrances from the house down the aisles with people loaded up with groceries from that supermarket mob that picks up all the groceries and runs with it without paying.
So this is sort of based in Commedia.
Yes, and I think you could handle this play in a lot of different ways, and some people very much try to modernize it and set it in a contemporary thing, and we've really tried to make it more universal. We are settling it in Italy, but it feels very international because it's working class, and the kinds of things we're thinking about are the kinds of working class things that people were thinking about in Spain and in France and in Russia, and the workers were all singing the same song, you know, Bella Ciao, and they were singing it at Occupy Wall Street too when they're talking about this, which brings us back to the contemporary. Bernie Sanders is saying there's income inequality, and Donald Trump is saying the working man's not getting what he wants. So, and you can see people riled up all over the place, which is why it's amazing. It's an amazing selection for the season, because it feels like, did you pick that a couple of months ago when you saw all this fight from the right and the left extremes coming and making such an impact? And so as a backdrop, it's fantastic for a play about that's a farce. It's going to be a great evening. These men work in a factory. They do the same thing. They solder, they hammer, they drill. It's the same thing every day, and they're just trying to work hard and put a little food on the table, but that's the backdrop. They don't have food. And that's why these things about the prices going through the roof set off this whole firecracker of an evening.